Minister, what about Queensland? The Premier got pretty cranky in some media conferences this week as the state continues to balk in and around their border. Meanwhile, the tourism sector is on its knees, absolutely on its knees. The iconic green island off Cairns closed to visitors. Yeah. What's going to happen here? Queensland wasn't built for just Queenslanders to celebrate and dance. It was built for people to come and do it.
Well, Tim, you're absolutely right about the Queensland tourism businesses. They're doing it really tough because of the closed borders, because of the lockdowns. And that's why the Morrison government is providing such significant economic support to Queensland tourism business. Indeed, today we've announced further support for some of those iconic businesses as well as small and medium-sized businesses, because we want them to be there on the other side of this pandemic. We want them to be able to have the staff available on the job once those borders are reopened. So the decision and the announcement by the Queensland government, which means that we may not see an opening of those borders consistent with the national plan, is not good. And it would be a bad decision that would cost Queensland jobs. It would be a bad decision that would mean Queensland families were kept apart and would be inconsistent with what was agreed at the National Cabinet. So it's really important that in Queensland the borders open in accordance with those 70 to 80% vaccination rates.
Will the government put a financial gun to the head of Queensland?
Well, again, I wouldn't phrase it in those terms. We've been pretty clear that there should be no expectation on behalf of premiers and chief ministers that our financial support would continue on the scale that it currently does once we reach those vaccination rates of 70 and 80%. You see, Tim, people are lining up in record numbers to get the jab. They want to keep themselves safe, they want to keep their families safe, but they also want their lives to come back to what it was. And it's up to the premiers and the chief ministers to give those people hope, to give them a chance to reopen their businesses, to be reunited with loved ones, to send their kids back to school. That's what the people of Australia are expecting from their state and territory leaders.
That's one of the big things, isn't it? It's not about holidays. It's about people reuniting with family. And I think that some of the state leaders have lost that, perception.
Yeah, I mean,
some of the rhetoric around it.
Here in Victoria, Tim, I was just speaking to one mum who contacted my office, and she was telling me, you know, she doesn't care if she doesn't go to another pub for a year or doesn't go to a movie for 6 months. All she wants is her child to get back into the classroom, to be reunited with their friends, to be directly engaging face-to-face with their teachers. It's been, you know, an absolute disaster for so many kids to be locked out of the classroom for more than, you know, for more than a year. That's what we've seen over the course of the last 20 months. We've seen classrooms closed, businesses closed, people's mental health affected, and obviously hopes dashed. We've got to turn that around. That's why the vaccination rate is so important.
Absolutely. Finally, on a brighter front, who wins the flag? Is it Melbourne or the Western Bulldogs?
I'm going for the D's today, Tim. You have to go back to 1964 to remember when Melbourne won a premiership, and obviously they've been starved of a flag for so long. So I'm really hoping they get there. Back in 1964, the Beatles were touring the country. You could buy, you know, a beer or a pie for 20 cents. And you know, the players were having a cigarette at half time. Things have changed since then. It's a much more professional game. It's certainly a national game, and you know, two great teams, the Bulldogs and the Demons. I'm hoping the D's get there because I'm a bit of I'm pretty sentimental in that respect, and it's been, you know, many years, a long drought since they last held up the cup.
Yeah, 57 years. I think they've got the nostalgic vote, that's for sure. Josh Frydenberg, thanks very much for coming on the program.
Great to be with you, Tim.